Hello, I'm State Representative Ann Bollin, Chair of the House Elections and Ethics Committee, and today we're starting a video series, Election 101. And today, my guest is Representative Dave Martin, and we'll be talking about election administration. Good morning, Representative.
Good morning, and thank you, Representative Bollin, for doing this. A lot of the questions we get from the district are on elections. And so what are we doing for the local area coming from the county administration, county commissioner? What are we doing to help the local clerks, local municipalities to get the job done with transparency and with a good ethics philosophy?
That's an excellent question, and indeed we are getting a lot of questions all around about elections. We know that the Secretary of State, the county clerks, and our local clerks all play a very important role in our elections. Most of all, the county clerks, who are responsible more for the ballot programming and the canvassing post-election process, candidate filings, and then our local clerks, who are responsible for actually administering the election. And we want to do all that we can to provide support to them and ensure that they have the proper resources. And honestly, it starts with training. So we have some bills passing through that will ensure we have continuity across the state and that our clerks have the proper training to ensure that we have fair and free elections.
I'm hearing lots of questions from my district about voter ID requirements. I think my district is about the same as the state and national for people thinking that it's a good idea to have an ID when you vote. Where are we at with that?
Yes, overwhelmingly over 70% of the people support some form of photo ID when presenting yourself to vote. So currently there's a loophole in the law that allows for a person not in possession of their photo ID to sign what we call an affidavit. And many people find that objectionable. They want the assurance that the voter before them is actually that person. And so we've closed the loophole on that by requiring presentation of your photo ID at the polls. And if you don't have it, then you will be issued what we call a provisional ballot. And then you will have 6 days following the election to present your photo ID to your local clerk and then proceed through the tabulation process of that ballot. So your ballot will be counted.
And for those that say they don't have an ID or have access to an ID, how can we take care of that?
Well, we provided a bill that would actually afford anybody in the state of Michigan that's eligible to vote to obtain a free ID. Currently, free IDs are the only people eligible for those are someone who can prove indigency. And we want to make sure that we increase access, that anybody wants to vote, that they're able to vote. And by providing for free IDs, we will be able to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to have an ID and follow the proper procedures.
How do we ensuring that the voter rolls are current and up to date?
So currently, clerks use what we call the qualified voter file, or the QVF. That is tied into the Department of Motor Vehicles, our driver's license records, or state-issued IDs by the Secretary of State. In a performance audit by the Office of the Auditor General in late 2019, it was identified that there were some problems with the existing voter roll. And so the remedy is that we are putting into place is to ensure that the Secretary of State is working properly through the branch offices and one of their local clerks to remove those dead voters. We get what we call a dead list from the Social Security Office and other registration groups that the Secretary participates in. And we want to allow the county clerks to also have access to the qualified voter file so that as we're nearing an election, we can remove any of those people that have died from the date the ballots go out up to Election Day. We are working that, more training for the clerks to make sure that they know how to properly update and or cancel voters as they move out of our state or pass.
This has been very interesting, and I know it's going to be very helpful for the people in my district, so I want to thank you, Representative Bollin, for doing this series.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your interest, Rep. Thank you for joining us today, and I want to invite you as we continue along our path, Election 101. Join us on our next video.